Hey guys, hope you're doing very well today. Welcome back to the channel. Neural Amp Model Area 2 just released, and if you don't know what that is, wonderful, because I'm going to talk about it, tell you what it is, how to use it, what it's not, and kind of go through some tones. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to record this kind of on the fly, so I'm just going to shrink my webcam video down here. First website I'm going to point you to, understandably enough, is neuralampmodeler.com. So when you come to neuralampmodeler.com, it's going to bring you to this page, which is going to give you a kind of a plug to various websites to download captures. But before you can use the captures, you're going to need a way to play them. So let's go up here to users, second button, and that's going to take you to most of your download pages. So for create, that's to model your own gear, but you're probably looking for this. This is Gateway, which is kind of like the UI for Neural Amp Modeler. So pick your respective installer. For me, that's Windows. It'll take me here. I'm going to get a download button up there at the top left, and then I'm going to go ahead and click download, and it will give me a zip file that I can utilize. So obviously I've already got it installed. When you extract this and run this installer, it will give you a warning saying, hey, this is not verified software. It's fine. This is not malware. It is not trying to steal your grandmother's credit card information. It's all good. Go ahead and run it, get it installed, and then open up your favorite audio workstation. So for me, that's Reaper. I've already got this open just because OBS likes to be a little finicky with it, but any DAW will work. So I like Reaper for simple stuff like this. I've got my track arm to record, so on my guitar input with my USB interface. So I'll give you, just to prove a point. So this is the total unprocessed input. Sounds fine. That is what's coming straight out of this guitar. And to use Neural Amp Modeler, or Gateway, you're going to go to your effects options. So this is just what Reaper's looks like. Your DAW is going to look different, but it's just a VST plugin. So whatever you use to input VST plugins. And you're going to search for Gateway. So there it is, Atkinson Advanced Modeling. Go ahead and click that. And this is your user interface. So same thing, nothing in. You've got some EQ knobs, an input and output, and a noise gate. So you can turn the noise gate off, you can turn the EQ off. I usually do. And then you've got these two options here. So a model is not an option. You have to have something loaded or else it's not doing anything. The IR we will talk about a little bit later. So the next website I'm going to point you to is Tone 3000. I think it's my favorite. There's a billion other ones. Tone 3000 I love because it's free, and you can get all kinds of great tones for free. So, and it's built for NAMM. So this is gonna give you everything that you need to make use of this program that you just downloaded. So let's see. We've got a couple options down here. Let's do the Bogner. So we'll go ahead and click there. Full rig combo capture. Mesa cab, amp settings, mics, and the like. So you'll click download, and it will give you a zip file up here. We will extract that to a regular folder and close out. So now I'll go to my model. Here's my Bogner that I just downloaded. You can see that I've got a bunch of these, and I've had to re-record this video for audio reasons multiple times. So pardon the clutter, but here's the Bogner that I just loaded in. And here is the file, .nam. So we'll load that, and now all of a sudden we're getting some gain through. So let's see how it sounds. Pretty good. And it's that easy. If you choose to EQ it yourself, you can. I don't usually, but easy peasy. Let's try another one. So we've got some other things here. Obviously, that's a heavier amp. Let's try this Fender full rig combo capture. Same thing. We will extract it. It looks like I've already got it. And extract that. See you later. Close this out. We'll close out of that and then go back to our downloads, open this SNAM up, and just a clean Fender yeah, so it works pretty good. So, let's pick another one. So we've been downloading the full rig combo captures. Let's do an amp head. So here's a Victory Kraken, which is a pretty popular one. Shout out to the boys at Andertons. And this is an amp head capture for the Victory. So let's go ahead and download it. Oh, we get a warning sign. This amp head requires an IR. So the ones that we've been downloading have all been full rig captures. This is just the amp head, which means that, you know, similarly enough, in real life, if you were to play with an amp head, you'd probably want a cabinet to go with it. So you need an IR, which is kind of your digital cabinet. So we'll download, see how this sounds. We've got a billion different settings, and I'll talk about this too. So we'll go, let's load the Victory in, clear this out. And we will do, let's see, gain at 5, gain stage, let's do high gain. Okay, so we're loaded in. Let's see what this sounds like. Kind of butt cheeks. Okay, turn that down. Now then, we can find an IR. So you can find IRs on Tone 3000. You know, it's not hard. Like they have them. Here's a brief kind of breakdown there. This button's hiding at the bottom, but you can also just search IRs. I think I have this Mesa already downloaded, so I'll go to IRs, and yeah, right here. So here's the IR there. You'll notice that your IRs are .wav files versus your amps or your full captures being .nam files. So your IR is a .wav file, and so you'll click that, load that in. So now we've got a Mesa 412 with the Kraken head, and see how it sounds. Pretty killer. That sounds really good. So easy as that. Getting the heads, you know, versus the full rigs gives you a little bit more customization on your options, but there's not much to it otherwise. So I'll point you to a couple things. You can EQ it if you want. So it's just kind of standard. Let's crank the bass up, scoop the middle, let's give you a lot of treble. Too much treble. You can double click the knobs to reset them. I usually turn the EQ off unless I have something specific I'm going for. And that's about it. It's that simple, which is unbelievable. You have access to thousands of different tones, some of which are free. You can pay for IRs if you choose. I personally do not, but I just don't see the point. And yeah, that's it. A couple things. So there's one more control down here. It's this little slider, and it's the slim knob. So something new with A2 is that it gives you the option to scale how much of your CPU it uses. So for me, I'm on my desktop. I've got a pretty, I wouldn't say high-end system, but I built it, and it's got a decent build. So if you turn it up, it increases the accuracy of your modeling at the cost of computer power. So The thought is that it gives you a little bit more bass response. I'm not sure I notice a huge difference, if I'm being totally honest. Turn it back down. Maybe a little bit of dimension. I don't know. I feel like I can't really notice much of a difference, but that's what this does. So yeah, let's talk about it. As I mentioned, Steve Atkinson released this, and it's totally free, open source software, which is crazy. It's so easy to get that really the only things you need is a guitar, a cord, and a USB interface, and you can get those now for pretty well next to nothing. And I'll link one in the description that I think is probably the best entry-level option there. It's so hard for me to fathom how far, and I feel like an old man just saying this, but back in my day when I started playing guitar, I had a Digitech RP250 and a 10-watt like Marshall amp, and that combo sounded like butt. Like it just was not a good sound. It was great for practicing, sitting in your bedroom, but that's about all I could do. And now we have all of these things that are so accessible. And I love this because my rig, I have a Helix, and I had before that an AC15, and I had a JHS Bonsai. I had like 8 different pedals. I had a Bonsai, I had a Blue Sky, I had, a flanger, I think, and just a few different things. And I liquidated that because I'm not a songwriter. I don't record original music. The band that I played in, we played covers, which means that we would play things like, we had a Chris Stapleton song or two, and I'd need, kind of an Edge of Breakup, AC15 kind of thing. And then we would also play, Sugar We're Going Down. And then I needed a lot more game. And all of a sudden, my AC15 really wasn't too excited about putting out the sound that I wanted. It could happen, but it was hard. And I just found, by the end of it being all said and done, I had, $1,500 to $2,000 worth of amps and pedals, and I got this sound. Now I could stretch it if I wanted, but it was that sound. And I sold it all and bought a Helix so that I could click a button and I'd go from, hey, you're playing a Fender Deluxe reverb to, if you're playing through an EVH and you're like the floor shaking. Obviously the Helix is about $1,800, but it kept me from having to buy 70 different amps and 30 different pedals and so on and so forth. With this, you kind of get the same thing, except it's free. And the captures are free, and all you need is, like I said, a USB interface. And it's just unbelievable how good it sounds. Like it's hard for me to imagine that, whenever I started guitar, probably, oh man, that seems like forever ago. I mean, it's probably been almost 18 years maybe. Yeah. I should be better than I am. Anyway, when I started guitar back then, like you just didn't really have any options like that. And it's just progressively gotten better and better. And now with Neural Amp Modeler, that barrier to getting into like the world of exploration of tone is pretty low. I would say that even a Katana, which I think is probably the best value starter amp, like if you have a Katana, that's really all you need to get started. Is it going to get you every sound? No, but it gives you a handful that sound really good, and you can make do with whatever you're playing with that. With this, you can download thousands and thousands of tones and explore whatever you want. And especially if what you're, say you're trying to emulate, like you're trying to play a Hendrix song, if you know what his setup is, you could kind of make it happen, which I think is just cool. There's a rabbit hole there. Like you don't want to spend more time fudging around with tones than you do just practicing. But at the end of the day, man, like it's really good for, a new person who is years away from being able to access some of these tones. There's kind of a limitation. The big thing is that this is software, right? So if you can pack your you could pack your laptop to, I guess, a gig and run it. You know, if you had like an output, I think there's probably a way to set that up, but it's not quite like you know, your Helix or your Quad Cortex where you just run it out to a board or run it out to your amp or whatever. So it's not quite as portable and it's not quite as streamlined. With it being open source as well, you may not see anything nearly to that design level. I think they're coming out with some things that do make it possible, but the one that I saw was literally essentially just an iPad that was marketed as, you know, it was a tablet or some type of, you know, small computer with a touch screen that just lets you run this program, which is, I don't know, it's open source. Like you're just kind of you're packaging something that was free and marketing it. But the other limitation here is, you know, as you'll notice, there's no gain knob. There's no way for me to turn off this or that, you know, this or that pedal. And I'll give you one example. So I've got this one. Yeah. So this is a full rig. This is a PV 5150. Great sounding amp. And if you load into your folder, so you can load one folder and it will give you the different captures. So when you download these captures, it gives you options like this is the 5150 with a Maxon 808 recorded with an SM57. This is the 5150 recorded with an MXR Zakk Wylde overdrive with an SM57. This is the 5150 Zakk Wylde overdrive with an SM58. So instead of being like on your Helix where you just click the pedal off and you're like, okay, my Klon's not on right now, which is more realistic to an actual just pedal board, you have to kind of find a capture that captures that amp with the pedals you want, and then you can kind of EQ it from there. So that's something, and I don't think that may change. But at the same time, again, you know, I bring up the fact, like anytime there's any kind of criticism about this whole setup, my response is it is literally free. I can play, you know, a 1965 Deluxe Reverb for free and have it sound, you know, close. And the argument too there is that none of your modelers are ever going to be perfect, and none of them are going to emulate the feeling of physically moving air, right? So like I've got my Helix, but I've also got a power cab with it. So like even when I play with my Helix, I'm going to like plug into my power cab and have it project that. There is nothing that quite emulates playing into that equipment, but is it close enough to not be worth the extra like $5,000 on the rig? Yes, 100% yes. Like you are delusional if you think it's not, and you can choose to still want to buy the stuff. Like I'm not bashing that. I have an AC-15 still. I actually had a friend give me one, and I love that amp. Like it just feels good to play into an amp, and there's just something about it. Like the response is there, but this technology is getting better and better where you just don't necessarily have to. So anyway, let me know what you guys think about that in the comments, man. I just had to make a video about this because I think it's so exciting. It just gives people a lot of access to things that they may never have had access to before. So like I said, just exciting development. I will catch you guys in the next one. Like I said, leave your thoughts down in the comments, and I will see you next time.